Here's another newbie commentary for the slightly newer runners, inexperienced runners out there. This time it's HB against Shaper once more, except that we are now using two rather unconventional IDs, arguably two of the less popular ones in the respective factions. On my side, we have Nick's design. I'm playing a rush deck with only cheap ice, agendas, a couple of biotics, and lots of event economy. Here I make a very silly error. I accidentally double-clicked one of the ice, and therefore I actually revealed to him prematurely what my ice is, which is a very bad thing because giving information to an opponent is always very bad. And to make things worse, I only installed 2 ice because that's all I had, and I drew into 4 agendas. Jeez, give me a break. And I had no choice because I found a celebrity gift in my hand. So this is one time where the celebrity gift actually cost me. It will make him, it will turn on his senses. He is going to go all bloodlust on HQ. So I'm very thankful that he spent his first turn installing hardware. This bought me some time to set up my HQ with 2 layers of ice, so he should be able to penetrate through too easily. Okay, I haven't talked too much about his side yet. He's playing Exile, and it looks like he's playing hardware-based Exile, using Replicators to bring out clone chips. You would expect clone chips in a Exile deck. And I'm not sure what else you would see. Probably R&D interfaces, but I can't really expect much more than that. Yeah, that's what I can think of. So, any hardware-based deck, especially when you're using Inside Man as your economy source, it must mean that he's running pretty low on economy. Sorry, he is running a very slow deck. So this gives me an advantage. Being a fast deck myself, I know that if I can rush out agendas quickly enough, I can win before he even sets up his rig. But wait, his rig is already set up. Look at that. He's running Darwin. Oh my gosh, he's running Darwin. Can you believe it? This is a huge hard counter to my deck, essentially my entire deck, because all my ice is low strength cheap ice. Look at what's best on the board right now. The Paper Wall and Roto Turret, they are all 0 strength, 1 strength. These are completely chewed through by Darwin. So I'm in huge trouble right now. As it stands right now, I don't even feel safe installing an agenda behind 2 paper walls. That's how dangerous he is right now. This is looking horrible all of a sudden. So much for him being a slow deck. He has Darwin to threaten me early on. I think at this point I pretty much conceded the game mentally because there is no way I'm going to be able to win. He can break through every single piece of my ice. The only ice on the board right now that he cannot break through is the Mind Layer, and he's going to be able to break it through soon because look at what he's using, the Personal Touch. It's such a good combo with Inside Man. It's a hardware, and it goes so well with Darwin. It's Darwin's perfect soulmate. And gosh, suddenly you're staring at a 2-strength icebreaker an icebreaker that can break through any of the 2-strength ice except for Swordsman, which I don't have in this deck. How I wish I had Swordsman or Wraparound, huh? Well, there's no turning back right now. I can only hope that, or rather, I'm not even hoping for anything. I'm just capitalizing on the fact that he has only 3 credits to his name right now and trying to score through an agenda through a server which taxes him for 4 credits. So if he takes a credit and runs my remote, I can't do anything. My game is done. But no, he decides to sit back and build up his rig. He plays Sharpshooter and another Personal Touch. So he's slowly building up to the point where he can confidently run through any piece of ice that I put on the board. Now, here's one tip for the newbies. Look at the ice that I'm installing right now. Look at them. Just look at them. They're all cheap ice. This gives you a very good idea of what's in my deck and what to expect. So if you're expecting that I'm playing lots of cheap ice, cheap to rest ice, and low strength ice, why are you spending time pumping up your Darwin? I think 4 strength for Darwin is more than enough. What he should be doing is to start running like he does now. So this is a very wise thing to do, to run. yes, he definitely should start running, not only because he should be feeling very confident by now, but more importantly, he needs to start placing pressure on me and force me to make some uncomfortable decisions that turn out to be not ideal for the core, me. So yes, that's what he does. He attempts to run, and I let him see the top card of R&D. I could have kept him out with the caduceus there because he didn't have enough credits, but I felt that it was pretty pointless, pointless exercise in itself because, uh, I'd rather have the unrest ice there to deter him from making any runs. Once I rest all the ice over a single server, suddenly it becomes much easier for the runner to plan the game. He can easily calculate how many credits he needs to break through the server and plan accordingly. With unrest ice, you're adding extra unknowns into the equation, and that's why I'm introducing into him the fear of the unknown. So that's a technique that I'm using as the core that maybe new runners will not be very aware about. The ability to keep information to yourself, keep them hidden from your opponent. Now, in the meantime, I score yet another agenda because once again, he didn't contest my very porous report. And another mistake most newbies make, they always leave themselves in a very vulnerable position. Look at his board state. If you look at his rig alone, you think that he's in a very strong position with a 7 strength Darwin and a sharpshooter to prevent any program crashing. But he's actually in a very weak board state because he has 0 credits to his name. He's not doing anything. So with 0 credits, I can easily put my agenda in the remote and be pretty sure he won't score it. Now, he has the Aesop's Pawnshop out, and that's another thing that he didn't capitalize on that I thought he would. Well, since he doesn't capitalize on it, I score my next agenda, I don't beta test, and I'm ready to score my final agenda. Once again, he leaves himself in a very weak board state with 0 credits, and he doesn't Aesop's anything away. I thought he installed his Aesops to start pawning the replicators and clone chips to get himself money to run servers, but I was wrong. It was just sitting there doing nothing. Once again, just like my previous runner tutorial video, if you are not getting any benefits out of the cards that you're installing, you're doing something wrong. And in this case, he let me win the game. The biggest mistake by far that he made was that he did not challenge my remote at all. He would have played this game so differently if he knew that all that was protecting the remote were 2 paper walls that could be trashed for 4 credits. Unfortunately for him, he chose not to get the information. Instead, he chose to build up his rig and play solitaire. And as I said in my previous tutorial video, that is the worst thing you can do. To go into the game with a fixed mindset, a strict set of rules that you follow. I want to play my Insight Mans, I want to install all my hardware in my deck, I want to build up my Darwin to 7 strength, and then once I have everything set and a couple of credits, I will start running. That's not the way to go. When you are playing against fast decks like NBN, and in my case, the next design rush deck, you have to adapt your playstyle to fit the needs of the core. And in this case, it wasn't too difficult because he had exactly all the tools to do it. All he needed to do was to gain some money and start playing aggressively. As I said, the most important factor contributing to the success of a runner and core for that matter is not how you build your deck, but rather how you play the deck. You can spend all your time blaming your deck for being a slow deck, that it takes so long to set up, that fast advance is its weakness, but at the end of the day, there are ways to play around it. There are ways to modify your gameplay such that your deck can cater towards the early game while still having the potential for late game. He didn't do that, and it can be all attributed to the way he played out the game. And that's about all that I have. So once again, information is power. Take a step out of your comfort zone, be flexible, and play aggressively as the runner. It is much more rewarding than you might think. Thanks for watching, and have a good time net running. See you around.